I've seen both approaches as well. And I think you're completely right. There's not one that's necessarily better than the other, or at least both have pros and cons to them. So in the first setup where you cut the journeys into small journeys, so to say, and you organize around that, but lose maybe a little bit of that customer perspective, but at least you make those journey steps very simple for the consumer. So if you do only have a car injury, for example, it's really easy, really simple solution, and you're quickly through the process. That works well because you don't have that many interactions between coordination between the teams. But of course, for the consumer, it can be then a little frustrating. In the other scenario, I've seen people do the journey and then take sort of form teams around the touch points more. So the consumer touch points, and then form teams on that. And then they own both the touch point, but also the process within that, the IT that supports that process, and then all the way down to actually the infrastructure that supports, or the architecture and infrastructure that supports the IT system that supports. That can work as well, and I've seen it work, but of course that requires a lot more coordination between the touch points. But at the end of the day, I also believe it gives a little bit better customer experience on a large scale. But of course, back to the guy who only actually has a car injury and doesn't have anything else to report, for him, it's maybe not the better option, because it will take him a little longer to get through those steps, and it might be a little less simple, because he will be asked also, do you have personal claims, and all these other questions that he doesn't really care about in that specific touch point. So I think there's pros and cons to both.